Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an extraordinary impact on our lives, either bringing light or challenges? Often, these connections are so deep that we almost feel they were destined to happen. It may be that you are under the influence of something called a soul contract. This spiritual concept suggests that even before we are born, our soul may have made agreements with other souls, determining interactions that would bring us unique lessons and experiences. These contracts are not casual, they are like secret guides that direct our spiritual growth and our relationships. In this video, we will explore what a soul contract is, the two main types, and how to identify which one might be active in your life right now. Additionally, we will see if it is possible to break these contracts and discuss a practical and powerful four-step process to help you handle these spiritual connections in a healthy way. Soul contracts are not ordinary agreements. They are spiritual commitments made between souls before we incarnate, aimed at aiding spiritual development and evolution. These contracts essentially shape our life journey so that we can face, learn, and overcome specific challenges. They generally involve aspects of healing and the resolution of emotional or karmic wounds that may be rooted in past lives. Thus, each significant encounter we experience may be contributing to our soul's growth, leading us to a deeper understanding of love, forgiveness, patience, and compassion. These contracts are profound, complex, and often difficult, but they are also learning instruments that help us perceive and appreciate the true value of human connections. On our journey, there are two main types of soul contracts: positive, or empowering, and negative, or challenging. Positive contracts are based on an energy of love and support. They are those relationships that make us feel stronger, even in the face of challenges. They are marked by respect, upliftment, and a healthy exchange of energy. These relationships can occur with romantic partners, friends, family members, or even co-workers, and despite the difficulties, they provide a sense of growth and evolution. In contrast, negative, or challenging contracts are based on unresolved emotional wounds or karmic cycles that we still need to heal. They often bring a sense of intensity at the beginning but, over time, prove to be draining and harmful. Abusive and toxic relationships are clear examples of this type of contract, which, instead of strengthening us, tend to drain our energy. Unlike positive contracts, negative contracts are based on unresolved emotional wounds or karmic cycles. These connections, instead of empowering us, can drain our energy and make us feel disrespected or undervalued. They usually start intensely, which can be mistaken for love, but over time, they reveal deep and often painful challenges. Abusive relationships are prime examples of this type of contract. The reason these contracts appear in our lives is to provide an opportunity for healing and resolving karmic cycles. However, without awareness and inner work, these contracts can trap us in harmful patterns, repeating cycles of suffering. How to discover which type of soul contract is active in your life? Identifying which contract is influencing your relationships involves accessing your intuition and conducting a sincere analysis of your connections. Ask yourself, do I feel respected in this relationship? Does this connection empower me or make me lose my power? Is the energy of this relationship light or heavy? Do I feel loved in this connection? These questions can help you discern whether you are involved in a positive or negative contract. Often, these answers are not easy to accept, especially if we are in challenging contracts, but honesty with yourself is the first step toward liberation. And is it possible to break a soul contract? Yes, it is possible. Although soul contracts are spiritual agreements, we have free will to decide how we will handle these connections. In the case of negative contracts, the process of breaking them involves healing and often distancing ourselves. When you heal the wounds that the relationship has brought to light, the contract loses its reason for existing and, over time, can naturally dissolve. For example, if you are in a relationship where you feel insecure or rejected, it might be that this person is in your life to touch on an old wound, perhaps a pain experienced in childhood that you have not yet healed. Now that you understand the different types of soul contracts, I will share a simple process that can help you deal with them, especially the challenging ones. The first step is to recognize that you are in a soul contract, whether it is positive or negative. This awareness is essential to begin the healing process. After recognition, the next step is to focus on internal healing. But what does internal healing mean? Internal healing is a process where we look inside ourselves and try to understand how the relationship we are living affects our feelings, thoughts, and actions. If something makes us feel insecure, sad, or angry, it may be a sign that there is an internal wound that needs attention and healing. As you begin the healing process, it is essential to look to the past with compassion and seek a new understanding of the experiences lived. In the pinned comment of this video, you will find suggestions of guides that can facilitate this process, such as the Inner Child Healing Guide, which helps heal past traumas and grievances, and the Feminine Healing Guide, aimed at women who seek to transform traumas and abuses related to love and sexuality. These resources are useful for better handling emotions and gradually transforming what is bothering you. After starting the healing, it's time to act. Sometimes, we need to take practical steps to distance ourselves from a harmful connection. It can be a challenging task, but action is essential for the dissolution of the contract. This may involve physical distancing, a frank conversation to set boundaries, or a change in attitude towards the other person. Finally, the last step is to cut any energetic ties that may still exist between you and the other person. An effective method is to use a simple visualization to cut these ties or perform a release prayer, such as, "I terminate this soul contract in all directions of time and release it with love." Repeating this prayer in a quiet environment helps to finalize the process in a loving manner, without resentment. Remember that even challenging contracts bring valuable lessons. In the end, you have the power to decide how these connections will impact your life. Free will is essential in this process, and your path of spiritual evolution is always in your hands. Now that you have learned more about soul contracts, share in the comments if you have already identified any type of contract in your life. And don't forget to check out the Healing Guide suggestions, which can help you even more in this process. Share this video with someone who could benefit from this information and continue your spiritual journey with wisdom. Gratitude for being here, and see you soon.